Ladies and dudes, if I were all of you, we gotta find a way to get our GOAT Bryan Mills back. After the big giant disaster of Taken 3. Yeah, you know what I mean, right, ladies and dudes? Well, anyway, hi ladies and dudes, this is Rebecca Lynn Barkley, aka Boobop 1987. This is my review for today. And today I have no review, ladies and dudes. But it's that time once again to do another top 5 list that featured a character and his fantastic moments. And yep, I only got these two good films, Taken 1 and Taken 2. These are the only films that featured our main man, Bryan Mills, who had so many great GOAT moments. Yeah, I will let you know, Taken 3 does not give us any GOAT moments, because that movie really did ruin our beloved GOAT character. That's for sure. And it gave us the wrong storyline at the wrong time. If only the great and mighty Liam Neeson should have known the truth sooner or later, before the movie was made. So, for my latest top 5 list of today is my top 5 best moments that feature Bryan Mills for only 2 out of 3 Taken films. And yes, there are so many great moments to be found. That's for sure. And like I said, this guy is truly a GOAT. A really big GOAT. And to tell you the truth is, I think he's a very, very good choice to be the main leader of the Unstoppable 9. The third strongest member of the group. If you know what I mean. So without further ado, ladies and dudes, let's head on to my top 5 choices of which one of these greatest moments that feature Bryan Mills, you know, one of the best scenes ever that came from Taken 1, Taken 2, but minus Taken 3. Oh yeah, before I do it, I gotta do one honorable mention. One honorable mention I forgot to mention from my honorable mentions in my dishonorable mention video. I will say for my one honorable mention that came from Taken is where Bryan Mills did the best he can to nurse this girl back into health. Because that girl is the only person who can tell Bryan Mills where he can find his daughter. And also, I really love the score that featured in this film. Something that's epically beautiful, but yet very sad at the same time. Whoops. And also from Taken 2, a few more parts I forgot to mention. 1, this is the final time we're ever going to see Bryan Mills in that sexy leather jacket. There are some scenes that featured him in his leather jacket. And also that really cool fight scene with that perverted man who did something terrible with Lenny. Yeah, he took care of that perverted guy once and for all. And the truth is, this is the only Taken film that did feature a happy ending. That's in a positive note. That's for sure. And now, on to my top 5 choices. I hope everybody will be surprised about these 5 main choices on the list. So here we go. Coming at number 5 goes to a very sad, emotional moment that came from Taken 2, where Bryan and Kim are in a damaged taxi car. Boy, I love that scene so darn much, and this scene will bring you to a tear in your eye. This is where Bryan and Kim, this is my opinion, the best Bryan and Kim moment of all time for me. This is one of the most underrated scenes ever that came from Taken 2. and it's a very emotional moment. Kim wants to know where her mother is, and those Propoya dudes are the ones who kidnapped her. And Bryan Mills has to find a way to save Lenny before it's too late. And I'll never forget that famous line that he said in the film is, "What I know best." I mean, he'll do anything that he can to save his beloved Lenny from the wrath of the evil Propoya dudes. I'll never forget it when I first saw it in the theaters. Yeah, it did bring me to a tear to my eye. I was about to cry on that scene. Very emotional, but yeah, very powerful scene. And that's why it has to fit at the number 5 spot. Coming at number 4, well, if you remember my top 5 most favorite moments that feature Robert Langdon in all 3 of the films, there was a moment where Robert Langdon had disguised himself as a priest, but only for the second half of the movie. And yeah, to tell you the truth is, there is one underrated moment that nobody had never talked about from Taken, the first one. And this is one of the most interesting scenes in the whole entire movie that I really did enjoy. So coming at number 4 is where Bryan Mills had disguised himself as a businessman and head on to that paradise house. I freaking love this scene so darn much, and I wish this scene should have been talked about more. The part where Bryan Mills had entered the paradise house, and he met 2 Propoya dudes who were kind of busy in a nice sunny day and drinking beer and just have a nice peace and quietable moment. And this is where Bryan Mills has to say some bad word things to this dude who had a toothpick in his mouth. And yeah, there was one more where Bryan Mills was looking at this dude who's so darn quiet. He did not say one single word in the whole entire scene. I mean, that was perfectly well done and perfectly well told for this great underrated film. And yeah, Bryan Mills is so darn hot. You know, seeing him in disguise. Well, the best part about his disguise is that sexy leather jacket. That leather jacket had really turned us on. That's for sure. So yep, one of the most underrated and best disguises I have ever seen in film history, and it deserves to be at the number 4 spot. Coming at number 3. Here's something I wish everybody should just pay attention from Taken 2, and this is one of the best scenes that nobody had seen coming, and it's between Bryan and Lenny. And I'm sure everybody was completely shocked about it, but for me, I'm just happy that they add that part in the movie. So coming at number 3 goes to the kiss scene that came from Taken 2. I freaking love that kiss scene so much. It's one of the best surprising movie moments of all time, and also one of the main GOAT moments of all time. This scene is really the GOAT. The GOAT. Well, you better talk to that guy who likes to say the GOAT all the time. I mean, it just happened for a few seconds, and it featured in one shot and one shot only. There was a part where, before Lenny leaves the car, she gave Bryan Mills a hot, sexy kiss on the lips. And it's the perfect one-shot moment ever in film history. And Lenny did tell Bryan Mills, be careful. I don't know why nobody never mentioned that important scene from Taken 2. I just love that moment so darn much. And this is the reason why Taken 3 had really ruined it for us fans. We want to see Bryan and Lenny as a couple, and not them as friends. That's one of the most biggest giant plot holes I have ever seen in movie history. That made me so darn mad, big time. So yeah, I love the kiss scene very much, and it has to be at the number 3 spot. Coming at number 2. I will say, in my opinion, this is the best near ending ever in movie history, and I love this near ending so much. It has everything that I ever wanted to see for a near ending. So coming at number 2 is where Bryan Mills has to face that Propoya dude one last time. You know, the main leader of the group. I just love this scene so darn much. It's very powerful, very epic, so darn unique, and there's a lot of great moments to be found in this great scene of the film. The dialogue, the camera angle, seeing those two dudes looking at each other one last time. But the most epic thing I love about this scene in the movie is truly the score. The score is absolutely mind-blowing. And it does feel like I'm listening to a score that came from in the Schindler's List. Well, since I'm not a Schindler's List fan, you know, the movie itself, but that score really does remind me of it in so many ways. I mean, it is absolutely spot on. And yeah, Bryan Mills did kill that guy that featured a hook in the back of the dude's neck. Well, it did explain in the extended cut edition. That's for sure. And I do like the part where Bryan and Lenny had finally been reunited again. A tear. And that's why it has to be at number 2. And no matter what, for number 1, we already know what it is, ladies and dudes. I know everybody loves this scene so darn much. It's not just a GOAT moment, but it's one of the best iconic moments of all time, if I remember right. It's iconic? Well, you guys get the picture. So anyway, coming at number 1 will always be the phone scene that came from Taken 1. Nobody could take that moment away from us. This is one of the best moments ever in movie history, where Bryan has to talk to Kim on the phone and see what the heck is going on in Paris, France. And this is what us, the fans, had really, well, not just us, but Bryan Mills, we were so darn afraid that Kim is going to get kidnapped by a bunch of Propoya dudes, and those Propoya dudes are going to take her hostage and use her as a sex slave. And yes, it is true, it's all Kim's fault for making that terrible choice of going to Paris, France on her own at the age of 17, but without getting to know that there's danger ahead in the city of death. It's no longer the city of love, it's the city of death. That's for sure. And yeah, who doesn't remember that epic scene where Bryan Mills has to talk to that Propoya dude on the phone? And yes, it did happen in one shot and one shot only. Something that will blow us, our minds out of our brains or something. Hard for me to say. And yeah, we'll never forget those famous lines. I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you. And yeah, the Propoya dude says, good luck. I wish I could say more about this great scene, the whole entire movie. So overall, the phone scene deserves to be the number 1 best moment ever in film history that featured Bryan Mills for only 2 out of 3 Taken films. And before I leave, ladies and dudes, I gotta go ahead and give you another extra scene that I got an idea for my Taken short story, Just Call Me Lenny, and there will be a GOAT moment for Bryan Mills. I would love to see a part where Bryan Mills had a very strong argument with Lenore that will take place in Kim's bedroom. I want to see those two arguing at each other, and this is the real argument that we all been waiting for. Something that should have been in the first Taken movie. And this is a part where Bryan Mills will finally say to Lenore that this is all your fault. You're the one who screwed us up. You're nothing but a bad parent to Kim, and how dare you betrayed our family this way. And Lenore will get very, very shocked about it for not noticing her responsibility as a parent, and also it's her fault for not caring about Kim's safety at all. I really want that scene to be an epic, powerful moment, but yet full of emotion for Bryan Mills. If the old greats and mighty Liam Neeson and sexy pretty-faced Finken Jensen can do it, give us a very powerful argument scene between those two characters, and we can see the real character development and chemistry that's missing from the first Taken film. That's for sure. And that's all the details I can give to you for that important moment of the Taken short story. Something that I made up for sure. And there you go, ladies and dudes. Those are my top 5 favorite Bryan Mills moments of all time that featured our beloved GOAT character. So tell me, ladies and dudes, what is your favorite Bryan Mills moment of all time for only number 1 and number 2, and minus number 3? Whichever it is, leave a comment there and let me know. And join me next time for my next videos to come. I gotta do Once Upon a Time in Mexico, and I hope I can do it before or after Halloween. That's for sure. So I'll see you all later, and sayonara.